Today,
There've
I
been a
bring you
couple of
everything
signings
about
that the
this big
Manchester
game
United fans have been really
that
happy about.
marks
They've been really attacking
United's
signings.
debut in the
They're
Premier
looking for
League.
goals. That was
The
an
match
issue
against Arsenal
last
is
season.
steeped in
Have they got
history
enough
and
now in
tradition,
the squad
with some great
to
matches
really
between
improve
the two
from last
teams.
season? And how far can it
United
take
has a
them?
lot of
Yeah, I
new
was thinking
players
that
on the
before about
team,
Ekitike.
with
We
players
shouldn't
like
take for granted
Sesko
what he's
and
done in these
Belmo
last couple of
and
weeks. That
Matthias
kid, he's
Cunha
22, and we say
strengthening
that
a
people
more
need
in
time to
squad.
settle in.
Stay
But there are a lot
tuned
of very good
after the
players who've come
game.
into this
I'll
league
bring
who've
you
gone
all the
straight for it
details.
straight away and
Let's go
started
United.
scoring. And then Bermo, Cunha, Sesko, a lot of eyes on them at Manchester United. I think Manchester United fans, including myself, are surprised that the club have gone and spent that level of money. We thought, obviously, after the Europa League final, that the money wouldn't be there at that level. So to get those three players who look like a really good profile, two of them have got Premier League experience. We need them to do well. We need those three players to do well, because the rest of the team, look, we need a goalkeeper. There's definitely, obviously, issues with the defence and midfield, but if the three strikers are a real handful and scoring goals, last season United's return in front of goal was really poor. So it's really important that Sesko and Bermo and Cunha get off to a really good start. We've seen the Liverpool striker do that tonight. There's no reason why United strikers can't go and do that on Sunday.
If they start, is it Sesko against Gyokeres?
I think it's fascinating, the fact that Ekitike, Wirtz, Pedro, Delap, Gyokeres, Sesko, these players all go into big clubs. How are they going to do? We're not quite sure, are we? Obviously, Ekitike tonight has given us a little bit of a glimpse of what he's like. But there is pressure on all those players to deliver for Chelsea, Manchester United, Arsenal, Liverpool. They have to deliver. The main man at City, obviously Haaland, we know he's going to score goals. But who of those rest are going to emerge to become maybe a world-class player?
So what's a good season for Manchester United?
I think top six would be a good season. I think the four at the top, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, City, I think would be difficult to challenge, but they could slip into that space where Newcastle, Tottenham, Villa, other clubs are. So I think in that fifth place would be absolutely amazing. Realistically, I think it's probably going to be between sixth and eighth, but I think fifth is what they have to really target.
Aim for fifth and potentially end up between sixth and eighth. Do you think that's realistic for Manchester United?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, people will look where they finished last season and say, oh, that's a huge jump. But then you think of some of the teams who were up in those positions all last season. Nottingham Forest were fighting relegation this season before. Brentford were up there for a lot of the season. Bournemouth were up there for a lot of the season. When you look at those teams and those squads, they haven't got better players than Manchester United. But I think the manager's still got a lot to prove. I do. I think he's had about 40 games now, which is a decent run, in terms of sort of trying to get his message across. And it didn't quite happen at all. And I can't get that sort of, final out my head, really, about how poor they were in that game. So I think he's almost got a lot to prove as well, because Manchester United, no matter what set of players they've got on the pitch, they shouldn't finish, was it 15th they finished last season? So Man United's squad of players and the expenditure, whoever the manager, that squad of players shouldn't be finishing that position. So I don't think 6th, 7th is completely, out of the question, because as I said, they've spent what they always do, 250 million in the summer.
Is there patience amongst the Manchester United fans,
skint,
or do they have to? They've saved a lot of money. Do they have to start fast?
No, United fans are patient in the sense that they turn up every single week, and they have done for 26 years without winning the league, and the stadium's full. They're incredibly loyal. They're very loyal also to their managers. They'll support Amorim. Sometimes they can get a little bit disillusioned with the players if they feel like that heart and that spirit and that fight's not there. I don't think you can say that in this last 12 to 18 months. That's not been the problem. I think the problem has been the quality. The lack of quality in terms of the players, particularly in forward areas, is just nowhere near good enough. Now, if they correct that and start scoring goals, you become obviously a lot harder team to beat. Yeah, there is a problem in central midfield. It doesn't look like Bruno Fernandes has got the right partner at this moment in time. And then obviously you've got the goalkeeper. So there's things that I think he'd still want to change. It's quite a unique system. I think it was always going to take some time to get used to it. I was hoping that, to be fair, I said at the time it would suit some of these players, give them a stronger base, because there isn't really a pair of centre-backs there that can play in a four. So I thought it would suit them, but it didn't do, and it ended up being a real sort of challenge for them. They've looked better in pre-season. The fans will always be patient, but I think that ultimately they need to get a decent start, and they've got a few tough fixtures in this first few games. I actually feel quite confident about them on Sunday. I think they'll give a really good performance. I think it's a big day. And Arsenal, Arsenal have got to go and win. I agree with Jamie. I think Arsenal are the team really that have got to go and challenge Liverpool this season.
Today, I bring you everything about this big game that marks United's debut in the Premier League. The match against Arsenal is steeped in history and tradition, with some great matches between the two teams. United has a lot of new players on the team, with players like Sesko and Mbeumo and Matheus Cunha strengthening Amorim's squad. Stay tuned after the game. I'll bring you all the details. Let's go United.